He is finally speaking out, and what he just disclosed has left everyone in shock. For weeks, Mendeecees had kept silent, disregarding the explosive claims and circulating rumors. It all started when a woman came forward and said that her child was born to Mendeecees. People initially believed it was just another publicity stunt, but when she demanded a DNA test, things changed. Mendeecees' quiet just served to feed accusations that he was hiding something or didn't want to acknowledge the reality, and fans started to question why he was addressing this. Mendeecees finally answered at the height of the pressure, and his remarks sent shockwaves through the internet. Does this imply that the woman was telling the truth all along? And what did he say to justify his prolonged wait? What you won't believe is how crazy the truth is. Rumors about this story were already rampant on the internet, but nothing prepared the internet for the conflagration that erupted when Mendeecees finally said anything. His name has been plagued by constant debates for weeks about whether he was indeed concealing something or if this was just another fabricated scandal designed to discredit him. Supporters have been anxiously awaiting his every move, scrutinizing each enigmatic message Yandy made. And before an exclusive video surfaced last night, no one had reacted to any of the little behavioral shifts he had made. It was something far more intimate and unfiltered, and it appeared to have been recorded in a darkened room with just M's phone and the weight of the charges. It wasn't a carefully prepared statement from his PR team or a defensive outburst on Instagram Live. People might say anything they wanted about me, but I know my truth. He stared straight into the camera and said, "I see what's going on. I hear what y'all are saying, but let me make one thing clear. I don't run from anything." His voice was steady but low, and his demeanor was grave. After he stated those words, reactions poured in on social media in a matter of seconds. Does that imply that he is accepting the woman's name was not specifically mentioned by Mendeecees, but he didn't have to because everyone was already aware of who he was talking about. In her interviews, the scandal-plagued woman had been unrelenting in her assertions that Mendeecees was the father of her child and even claimed to have receipts. Why doesn't he just flatly refute it, confessing to something? She repeatedly appeared to withhold information when reporters asked for concrete proof, including phone records, texts, and even pictures that allegedly showed their past, giving the impression that the truth will soon come to light. However, she insisted that Mendeecees take a DNA test and that his silence just made him look guilty, saying she would not stop until he did. Some of her admirers agreed with her when she stated that if Mendeecees had nothing to, he would have taken the test as soon as possible. When he eventually replied, his words simply added to the mystery, despite others accusing her of being a clout chaser who used his reputation to garner attention. He simply stated that he was aware of the reality, without either denying the charges or agreeing to the DNA test. Even so, what did that mean? Was he suggesting that he was already aware of the outcomes that Was this his way of expressing that he had nothing to prove before supporters could even understand his message? Or did he need testing to validate what he already knew? A close person who was allegedly in possession of inside information disclosed that the woman had actually been in communication with males in Washington, D.C., behind the scenes, which was another startling turn of events. Social media was rocked by this discovery. Why was he behaving indifferently if this was the case? Had they reached a secret deal of some kind? Was he trying to deal with it behind closed doors before the press got involved? Yandy posted something that further compounded the situation, as if it couldn't get much more convoluted. Fans were left deciphering every word she wrote since it was a confusing message rather than a straightforward one. Being quiet isn't always. Weakness can sometimes be a protection. The internet went into overdrive when she pushed send. For whom was she providing protection? Was it a message for someone else, or was it about Mendeecees? More significantly, did this imply that there was a more serious behind-the-scenes activity that reporters, bloggers, and even other reality stars started to conjecture about, but that no one was aware of? Just when fans believed they had seen it all, the scandal's central woman stepped forward with more information. Some said that M was manipulating the story in a calculated way. while others believed that he was concealing something important that, if it were to leak, would completely alter the course of events. When the main character in the scandal made yet another startling move, the tension reached a breaking point. She went live on Instagram after Yandy's mysterious post and M's cryptic reply, claiming to have fresh evidence that would compel men in Washington to acknowledge her child. Thousands of people watched her live feed to see what she had to say, and the internet exploded again. Her expression was solemn and her tone confrontational. She added, "I've been patient. I've given him time, but now I'm done waiting," saying, "I'm tired of the back and forth. I'm going to tell you the whole truth because he wants to play these little games." After that, she pulled out her phone and pointed it at the camera. In a few seconds, viewers could see that she was displaying several text messages, purportedly from her to M, with timestamps dating back more than a year. At first, the screen was too grainy to see clearly. The discussion was casual at first, but then one message in particular caught our attention. Shaking her head, the woman said, "I already know the troll is going to say I made these up. So let's clear that up right now." "No, I can't talk about this, not now," she said, smirking at the barrage of comments. She then scrolled down to reveal another message. She responded, "We'll figure this out," but Hugh was shivering as the conversation erupted in responses. Brought out a second phone, claiming it was her old one, which was the source of the texts. The timestamps matched precisely, as she discovered when she browsed through the identical texts. He knows that this isn't Photoshop. Social media was rocked by her remarks, which, if accurate, changed everything and implied that male venture capitalists had known about her assertions for a long time before they were made public. It wasn't often that Yandy addressed rumors like this directly, but fans immediately took to Twitter to demand answers, asking why Mendeecees was avoiding this, why he was innocent, and why he hadn't just taken the DNA test. Yandy's girl blinked twice as the pressure mounted, and just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more chaotic, Yandy dropped another bombshell and went live. Thousands of followers watched as she took a big breath and began speaking, saying, "I'm and me all to stop playing in my face every time something happens." But this time she couldn't keep quiet. She was wearing a simple hoodie, and her hair was pulled back. "To be clear, I know my husband, but people act as if they don't know what's happening in my own home." Her voice was steady, but there. The comment section exploded, with some fans believing her and others not. "But girl, open your eyes. Why would she lie if he's not sincere? I saw the messages, I saw the so-called proof, and let me just say that this screenshot doesn't mean anything. Anyone can put a name at the top of a text thread, and it's really sad." Everyone paused when Yandy said, "There's a reason we're handling this behind the scenes, a reason you all don't know about. And when the truth comes out, you all are going to owe my husband an apology." Her cryptic statement only added to the mystery, raising the possibility that there was more to this story. Yandy had allowed him to take the test without question. Before the public could even process her words, Mendeecees took another step. He removed his original video, the one in which he broke his silence, from his social media accounts without offering an explanation or any follow-up. Fans were shocked, wondering if he was trying to take back his comments, if he regretted saying them, or if there was something more important going on behind the scenes. "If I have nothing to hide, let's go on TV and do the DNA test," she said abruptly. Within hours of her bold statement, the internet was ablaze with reactions on Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else you looked. The woman's challenge had turned into the biggest scandal of the year, and fans were desperate to know if I would finally take the test or if he was avoiding it. Fans flocked to Mendeecees' Instagram live when he finally broke his silence. Upon receiving the notification, they saw him sitting in a dimly lit room with a serious expression on his face, his jaw tight and no smile. People were debating whether men had nothing to hide, and even big celebrities and gossip blobs joined in, further igniting the debate. "Take the test, bro. Why are you so defensive?" He wasn't laughing, and I wasn't going to say anything either, but then he started shaking his head, and I realized that you all really wanted me to put up with this bullshit. The problem with social media is that anyone can say anything, and you all just accept it without even asking. If someone has something to say about me, I won't play these online games. They can say it to me, not to you, not to blogs, and not to Yandy in the back, who was crying as she looked into the camera for a long time before speaking again. You all don't even think the comments came in faster than saying she's lying, so you're just denying it. I've never been the type to hide from anything. The MCs nodded. My wife, my kids, and my family are the only people that matter to me. The rest of this is noise, clowns, and I'm real. Yandy's voice then broke through the live B. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody, she said off camera. Mess turned his head slightly and listened to her fans hold their breath, wondering if Yandy was really supporting him throughout this. But if Shorty really won a DNA test, the internet went crazy. Did that mean he was agreeing to the test, or was he just trying to shut down? We're not doing this for your amusement, we're not putting on a show, and I have life problems to deal with. He then dropped the bombshell just when fans thought he was going to end the live. Everyone immediately took sides when he said he would do it. If he hadn't been guilty, he would have responded, "Hell no, that's not my kid." Yandy must be worn out, but she didn't back down from Mendeecees' attempts to break up the conversation, and a few minutes after N's live ended, she retaliated by posting a video on Instagram in which she was serious and staring directly into the camera. Fans poured in comments, saying, "She isn't playing, girl, just drop the receipts." She laughed as if she knew something that the rest of the world didn't. "So now you want to pretend like this is some internet game?" "Oh," she replied, shaking her head, "that's where you got me. And will come to regret not going the extra mile for Tesla. I want to make it clear that you're not going to gaslight me into silence or play me like I'm crazy," she said, laughing and shaking her head. "If you really have nothing to hide, show it. You know what you did. Get to you, buddy. You have consistently disregarded me despite my repeated calls and requests. You want to pretend that you're receptive to the truth now that everyone is looking." She sounded too confident, and the MC's better lawyer was up. "Gaslight," she said, adding that she had been reading tweets about how the situation was getting out of control. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any stranger, the leak happened, and a mysterious screenshot started making the rounds on Twitter. Liz's test fans were filmed, and the comments came in at lightning speed. "This is the biggest tea of 2025, I promise. You know this baby is yours. Stop playing him, yo. Chill. We'll talk soon. Talk in. I need you to step up now that he's not on text chill," she said, allegedly in an explosive text exchange between Mendeecees and the woman that left fans alarmed. They didn't know if this was real or not, but one thing was certain: this scandal was far from over, and just when fans thought they had seen it all, a new voice girl appeared. The woman wasn't going to let Yandy play the silent game, even though she said it was nonsense. It is nonsense today, but it wasn't nonsense when you were sitting up with him acting like the perfect pair, was it? She retorted with a fiery Instagram live an hour later. Her eyes were blazing as she leaned closer to the camera. "I have never made a request for anything, including a concert. Drama, and I continue to inquire." She isn't letting up after the comments went nuts. "You have to admit, Yandy sis, that this is worse than hip-hop drama and love." The woman's tone shifted as she inhaled deeply. "I really didn't want to do this, but because people want to make me look crazy and like I'm lying, I'll just get it done." Then she pulled out a folder that I wasn't. "You guys are behaving like I'm making everything up, so let's speak about the facts before I show you these." At first, she was unable to identify the pages when she opened the folder and held them up to the camera. She then focused on a birth certificate, but the comments did not include the father's name. XP, hold on. She did in fact write father unknown. "This is getting out of hand, but that just means he hasn't signed it. I'm aware that he isn't the father, but the fact that she shook her head shows that he wasn't there. He never claimed this child, and she stopped for dramatic effect when I asked for a simple DNA test. But if you don't believe me, that's cool. Let's go on." She put the phone on speaker, tapped the screen, and dialed Men's out. What if he does answer? Even though the phone rings twice, 3 times, and then goes to voicemail. The admirers were taken aback, thinking, "Oh, she really is doing this, girl. Are you bold for this?" He ignores, avoids, and vanishes. So naturally, when you get to ends and leave a message, the woman smirks. Mendeecees, "I know you're not leaving, so I want to tell you something." The Ethernet abruptly collapsed as she said, "You want to play games and act like this isn't real? That's fine, but guess what? I got a lawyer." As if things couldn't get any stranger, she was then handed a legal document that had been posted online as the next bomb. When the woman formally filed a petition for a court-ordered DNA test and the lawsuit was well underway, fans were completely taken aback. DC could no longer ignore the court order. It was now a serious struggle, and he had no choice except to either fight it or cooperate with it. Fans believed that Yandy had ended things when she abruptly deleted her Instagram account. After a judge ordered a DNA test, people were going crazy, asking why did Yandy delete that means a home key e-key? Then, Ems went live again, and suddenly the drama has reached a whole new level. DC is set to return to the Ivy League. What do you think will happen next? This narrative is far from over. Make sure to hit the like button. Will MDC finally take on the legal battle head-on, or will they try to avoid it even more? What about Yandy? Is she backing him, or is this her way of quietly backing off? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think the woman is telling the truth, or do you think this is just another clout-chasing scandal? Create an account and turn on notifications, because you don't want to miss it, I promise. In this case, what happens is simply begins. Pay attention to